the gold saucer! We're going. Oh, Ande Rodeo, he's back, baby! What is this thing?
It's upon us. The reunion. When worlds merge. I'm waiting.
Reunion.
Cloud.
Two worlds. Alright, let's see what they got here.
The world's ending.
Carnage.
At least
Probably how it
that's
picks
what
up. Oh,
everyone's
there's
saying.
Zach carrying Cloud.
This
The
sky,
world be saved, but
I
will
don't
you?
like it.
Oh, Junon. Alright.
Fire, sir.
Oh, it looks like we're getting the entire
the
celebration.
New World
This is
Order.
gonna be great.
Fire!
Look at that.
Just close your eyes and listen. Tell me you can't hear that.
Oh, entering Cosmo Canyon.
rallying cry.
What's that ship in the
Planet
background
runs
there?
out of energy. It and everything on it.
Fighting on a
Done.
beach somewhere.
We can overcome our fate.
Am I the same
Oh,
as
the
these
experiments.
monsters?
Is Sephiroth
Even
learning the truth?
Human?
Okay, we're looking for
Listen,
Sephiroth.
calm. Oh, look at that.
Think you can
Look
find
at that
him?
green reflection on his shoulder pad. Oh, KG!
Sephiroth, you see.
So you
Playable,
hated the call
confirmed.
too, did you?
Drop
What are you
kick.
talking about?
Oh, the
As you
roadster.
can see, your
Chocobo's
brothers
climbing a
down
mountain
there
and
are
flying.
having a Get together.
And
There are best chance
Segway.
of finding Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, who's this guy?
I suspect they're soldiers suffering from cellular degradation.
Do not be deceived. You know the truth. Trust in me.
The Midgar Solum, maybe? Oh, and this probably takes place where the dolphin was in the first game. Oh, more team of attacks. Yuffie and Barrett. Keiichi and Aerith.
On me.
Oh, this is probably from the flashback, the story they're going to tell in Calm. Probably how the game will start, I assume. What is this thing? One of the weapons, maybe? Summons, there's Odin. Oh, the gold saucer! We're going. Oh, Ande Rodeo, he's back, baby! They were going all out here. Oh, look, Chocobo Racing. Just confirmed. They're doing a lot of the mini games. These are motorbikes.
Excuse me.
Oh, this may be like when Zack first gets back to Sector 5, maybe? This is gonna be so good. There's gonna be so much in here. Who's this guy?
A weapon?
Oh yeah, weapons. Okay, so we're going that far at least, right? Unless this is sort of an exposition. Vincent?
Dares disturb my
Here he is.
slumber. It's upon us. The reunion. When worlds merge. I'm
A
waiting.
reunion.
Cloud.
Two worlds. That's like a completely different definition of reunion from anything we've had in the past, right? February 29th! Releasing on leap year. That's interesting. Okay, collector's edition. And a digital twin pack. Oh yeah, because you get both games. That makes a lot of sense. Oh man, we're gonna have to go back through that again. There's a lot there. We're gonna have to review it again. Hey there, friends. Welcome in. I'm John Q. As a better introduction, I had to sleep on last night's Rebirth trailer because there was just a lot there, and I was probably overhyped, and I was reviewing way too much from a lot of other channels and other people I was also following are on it. So, and then I had to work the next day, so I was just up really late, and so I kind of wanted to dive back in deeper and take a look for things that we might have missed, even like single frames. And see what else we can sort of mine from all this goodness that Square gave us yesterday. So let's take a look.
Before we wrap up,
Okay, all right. So let's take another look here and see if we can find anything. I got the 4K version, thankfully through the Sony State of Play broadcast. So hopefully we can sort of pick out a little bit more detail here. I'll try and pause it anywhere along the way that looks interesting.
The world's ending.
Obviously, this is
At least
Midgar.
that's what everyone's
Looks like maybe
saying.
Sector 5. Elmira is down there. She was talking to Zack.
Don't like it.
This is a good question of, like, it says the world will be saved, but will you? And I know towards the end of the trailer it was talking about how it's sort of redefining reunion, which is also, I think, pretty interesting. So I guess the question is going to be like, what does it mean when it says that two worlds will be brought together and like everything has to do with the life stream, right? And how the world works with the life stream and memories and everything else. There's lots of interesting stuff to talk about there, but I don't know. That's a really good question. So Junon, that's a fantastic shot there of the cannon. They didn't fire it in the original game, so clearly there's some events that are playing out a little bit differently than the original game, but still it looks fantastic. This is great. I can't believe they're gonna sort of build in the ability to continue to do the little mini games and stuff like that, like changing the formation. You can see that in the little corner there. Just different ways you can sort of lead things. This looks like maybe it's the Gungaga reactor that had blown up. There's a little creature that's sort of bopping around in the foreground there just past Cloud. I'm not sure exactly what that is. This looks like maybe it's like where you first approach Junon from underneath. And then obviously Cosmo Canyon, which looks fantastic. Be neat to see Nanaki come home and see how he interacts. This, I think, is probably along the railway on your way, train tracks when you're heading through some places. It seems like that's the case. I'm still interested in these like little like pirate ship looking things in the background. And obviously Tifa's doing all sorts of new combos and stuff. She was absolutely a blast to play in Remake, and if they could make that even better, that would be awesome. And obviously, even more attacks. This looks like maybe potentially in maybe the Costa del Sol area or somewhere around there, possibly. But all sorts of fun, interesting new locales. Some of the story beats that we know from the original OG Final Fantasy VII, it's really neat to see them come back into play here. And man, like, okay, so a couple of things here. So I'm gonna sort of roll this back a little bit maybe, or forward. But I said it during my initial reaction, but like, one of the things that was just like awesome to me in Remake was the way that they designed Cloud and his entire ensemble, and the way that they made it look, the way they framed shots in Remake, with the screws coming out of the shoulder pad there, and just like the color of this here, where it has like some sort of blue-green hue to it, is just like, it looks so good. Everything in this trailer looks so good. I can't wait to play the actual game, but yeah, that looks fantastic. And then obviously Kate Sith or Kate Chi, whichever you however you pronounce it, he looks fantastic. All of the hair on it and everything else, the attention to detail, the voice was fantastic. It looks like it's gonna be maybe really fun to play. And for somebody who never really like I didn't take him in my party very often in the OG game, so seeing like how maybe each individual character brings their own unique take to it. I know the devs had talked about how they've even tweaked like Red 13's play to make him sort of different from everybody else, but just sort of like, it just seems like everything's really unique. And there's even like a little icon near his health bar there, and I'm not even sure exactly what that is, but it just seems like it plays really cool. The buggy, the roadster here, this looks so fantastic. And everything about these chocobos, like climbing up walls, being able to sort of fly through environments to do additional exploration, like the whole thing looks really good. There's a lot of wrecked ships back there, so maybe this is somewhere near where we saw Tifa fighting earlier with the ships in the background, possibly. That could be. Question mark? Not sure. This killed me. Like, obviously this is near Costa del Sol. I love the fact they actually see the characters in an alternate outfit. That is fantastic. That's one of the things that actually I'm really enjoying about Ever Crisis right now, and any ability to sort of mix it up a little bit would be superb. Especially because you see so many like customization mods and everything that people are doing with Remake. Just so many options out there, but just like this, like rolling around, traveling distance. Why is it tracking the traveling distance? We don't know. You get these people with the surfboards and everything. Is just the whole thing just looks great, and he's still like got the sword strapped to him, which is fantastic. You never know when you're gonna get a fight, I guess. Yeah, so I think this guy here, this doctor, I was confused by it at first, but I think it sounds like. It definitely seems like he's the doctor in Mediel, right? Who eventually helped Cloud in the original OG game, but now he seems to be trying to help a lot of Sephiroth, numbered clones, which I think is a really interesting take because it gives, if we do sort of revisit certain story beats, it does sort of give the reason for the party to go look for Cloud here later if it does play out the way that the original game played. And it sort of gives sort of a foundation of this doctor already trying to help, folks who are struggling from either Mako poisoning or soldier degradation, that kind of thing. So just really interesting. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, we always like, you sort of like imagine the scale of the Midgar Zolom in the original game and what, Sephiroth had already done to one of them. And like, just like seeing this thing, it's super intimidating. Like, look at that. It's like just crazy. I can't wait to see that. And then this is, I think I'm right on this. I think this is where it looks obviously like Junon is up top. So this is probably where Priscilla and the whole dolphin thing occurred in the original game. But even that looks like it's good and included. Everything from the original game seems to be here, which is really awesome. Team up attacks, and again, everything just looks so fantastic. I love how like Yuffie sort of seems to be creating that ninjutsu thing from Intergrade, and then Barrett's actually using it to fire through it. Like that's super cool if you can sort of give an elemental effect to his weapons. One of the things I did like here is like if we go back to the first frame of this situation here, you get like this sort of like this little close-up shot of Aerith and Kate Sith when he's not on the the stuffed whatever it is, but that was just like, that was really cool, like barely miss it kind of thing. And then there's another one like just after she sort of like, he gobbles up all these little things, which is also super cool, like if she can sort of create these things and then he can sort of take them in, but after he eats them, there's like one frame like this one right here that is like, you can see how much care and attention to detail they put into making this game look as great as possible, even in like blink and you'll miss it moments. So, but that looks fantastic right there. I mean, that's an awesome shot. So, and then obviously this sort of team up look here. I mean, the camera angle, the way it skews and everything just looks really great, especially if you sort of go all the way out here to it. That looks so good. I can't wait to even like play the beginning of the game. We anticipate that it's probably going to start with the flashback and sort of set the stage for all the new players and revisit for all the existing players. That's the way it happens in original games, so it makes sense that it would start that way. But it is sort of a natural way to get everything started. And then I think this is probably them fighting against the materia protector there. This one, like, I totally like spaced it when I watched the trailer the first time, and then I was watching Blitz and Maximilian Dude, and of course they got it right off the bat, right? It's Alexander, right? And it even looks like it's probably in sort of like the Chadley kind of summoning VR kind of thing. But that makes a lot of sense. And the music throughout here is just like so great, like taking the original theme and then sort of like redoing it yet again. That's one of the things I loved about Remake, was like how they took all the original music and they've just sort of taken different tweaks and twists on it and made it so much better. And the same thing here. This is like a series of summons that they've sort of all strapped together here. I forget this guy's name. Starts with a K, but I remember him being in the original game. And then obviously Odin here pops up in a second. I love this sort of like this rainbow effect that shows up when when he's like taking his sword out and everything, and then you get a really great shot of him like right here at the end. If you sort of like go to the last frame here, yeah, I mean that looks so cool. That looks great. And then obviously you got everybody headed up towards the gold saucer. I mean, just like everyone looks so great. Cloud just like chilling in the background, which I love. Hey, like, hey, you all check it out. this like one of the surprises I think of Remake was sort of that dance scene in the Honeybee and Andre Rodeo and everything. It was like a challenging little midi game. It is actually pretty difficult. I thought, at least. Timing and everything is maybe some people had it easier. I did not, but it would make total sense that like he would know Dio or other people in the Gold Saucer and he would show up again. And so I think it's fantastic. They're going to sort of bring that back or pull it through and have him show up as well. And obviously you seem to be having a great time. And then sort of like, again, one of those like blink and miss it kind of things is like you have like 2 or 3 frames here where like Tifa and Aerith are there. I don't know what this outfit is that Yuffie has on, but again, it's sort of alluding to maybe there's some versatility in the clothing options or costume options that we're going to have available possibly. But they sort of like push her out of the way and they're gone. There's Dio right there. Yeah, I mean, this guy... this guy never has a shirt on. It seems like it's always crazy. But and then obviously like the chocobo racing, the little fighting, the motorbike, like the whole thing is all here. The G-bike. This, like, I think this is the biggest question mark we have, right? Is like, what's gonna happen with Zack? How is he still alive? How does he factor into everything? What's going on with this other Cloud who doesn't have a Buster Sword and is clearly like messed up with Mako? We don't even really know. It looks like this is when he first comes into Sector 5 and he's like headed to go see Aerith or something like that. But he's like, hey, Kyrie, hold this for a second. I'll be right back. But it's like, hey, I'm going to take care of Cloud, but only to a certain extent. I got to go see my girl. But yeah, but this whole thing, like, you know, I think one of the things that is just really interesting is where are they taking all of this, right? And then obviously, like check out that car back there. He's like, hey, you know, if I'm gonna go on a parade, I'm gonna go on a parade in style, and so I'm gonna drive around this little car, right? Yeah, and it just looks, the whole thing just looks so awesome. I can't wait to try and keep step in formation and see if we can impress the PR folks on the microphones. I doubt it. I was never good at it in the original either, so probably not. But and even like Rufus, like he just looks great, especially as he's like sort of looking up to the sky here, like just like the way they've got his eyes and everything done, just like the attention to detail. Everything looks so gorgeous in this game. Just looks so great. And then this guy here, like I had no clue who this was at all. But I've definitely watched a lot of other people sort of looking at it over and over and over, trying to like zoom and enhance and all this other stuff. And there seems to be some consistent speculation that this is probably Glenn from Ever Crisis for Soldier stuff. So, and that would also make total sense, like tie in all the stuff from Sephiroth's backstory that they're putting out and have that factor in as well. No Cisne sightings on this one, but it just makes total sense that they would sort of pull everything from every possible angle together in this remake trilogy, right? So that just looks great. Tifa floating around here. This has got to either be some kind of exposition, and maybe in Cosmo Canyon, talking about the weapons and like how they defend the planet. Red's talking about that here. Vincent, like. You get sort of like a 1 second shot of like, hey, check me out, look at my abs, and he's gone. And then the way that you get one frame of the top of his crypt there, like his coffin looks just fantastic. And then you get one more, maybe 2 frames of like a zoomed out shot of him here. And that's all we get for now. So we'll have to wait until we get like a better HD look at his face and everything. But even that just looks great. And, you know, there's a lot of speculation. Maybe that's Matt Mercer doing the voice. If so, I'm a huge fan of Matt Mercer, so that would be great, just to because he does a fantastic job as a voice actor. So maybe that's and he does the same little flip in the air when he comes out of the coffin that he does in the original game. Like, again, they paid so much care and attention to everything in this trailer. It's just really giving us everything we could want. And then this whole line here about rebirth and about the two worlds come together. This is obviously, you know, a great shot here of Aerith. Let me back up to it here. But when she's sort of like casting this spell or whatever she's doing here, just bringing all this lightning together, that all looks really awesome. Just so impressive. It looks really, really good. So it seems to be like recapping what happened in Remake at the end, which again, if you're bringing in new players and you need to set the stage, that makes total sense as well. So, and then this shot here, like of Cloud going in for a hit on Sephiroth at the end, like we saw this from a different angle in Remake, but this looks great. That looks so good right there. And then you get like a couple of shots here, you know, high definition shots of Cloud and also of Sephiroth, like all the way down to like pores. Oh my gosh. A little grin he gives here when he's getting ready to get done talking at the end there. Like, that's awesome. Just like the whole thing. Right there. Like this sinister grin, right? Oh, just so good. Oh man, I can't wait to play this game. It's gonna be so awesome. And the nice thing is that we don't have to wait as long as we originally had thought. It's gonna come out right at the end of February. I think it's really interesting that they chose to release it on Leap Day. Get an extra day in the year, might as well use it, I guess. Yeah, so super fantastic. I like blown away. I'm so excited. So very, very cool stuff, right? So like why am I doing this, right? So I have cared about this game, been passionate about this game for a really long time. And I was having a conversation with my wife and my kids. Like, I'm almost 45 now. Like, I'm just an average, everyday Joe who's a dad and has a job and everything else. And but I care about this stuff, and I grew up with it. I've been playing video games since the Atari, 800 with the 5 1/4 floppy disks that you'd insert or have to flip or whatever, all the way up through the Nintendo and the PlayStations and everything else. And I've just been gaming for a really long time, and I was having a conversation with my teenage daughters who are now graduating high school or starting college, and I was explaining to them, like, if I had the technology available at the time when I came out of high school that they do now, like, maybe I would have gone a completely different direction, maybe and tried to build content or, share with other people, that type of thing. And the more that I followed a lot of other streamers that really care about Final Fantasy, there are so many great people creating amazing content for the Final Fantasy community or other video gaming community. I mentioned some of them earlier, but you should definitely check out Maximilian Dude, check out Blitz, Night Sky Prince, who I watched his reaction video to the trailer, and I'm really glad that he's back on board now with maybe potentially where this could go. And I know he was kind of struggling a little bit with it not reflecting the original game as much in Remake, but he's super excited now. I mean, I think the entire community would agree. We saw so many great things that were callbacks to the original game in this trailer that should have us really excited, but then also amped up about what could they be doing with the mystery of some of this other stuff. There's a whole lot to say there too, because I feel like in the original game, the whole concept was built around Cloud being this unreliable narrator, right? And now, I feel like we're the unreliable narrator because we know how the original game goes, but it's not gonna follow that same track necessarily. And so they're kind of it seems like Nomura and Katase and everybody else, they kind of know that, and they're kind of using that to propel it forward of this being this sort of the unknown journey is, because we know what the original game was like, and it's not following that, and it's creating this sort of mismatch or causing this sort of this confusion, but at the same time this sort of intrigue, right? So I think that's great. Anyway, so Baby Seal, Sleep Easy, Subtext, is there's so many good people out there, and even people who I take my kids to Disney World, and we live in we live in Florida, and so we've gone to Disney with other people before, and we've sort of like experienced Disney World through my kids' eyes, fresh when like they were first going to Disney World for the first time and seeing everything brand new. And we'll go with other people and we'll see them sort of have the same experience. And then I'll be watching like, YouTube videos of people playing Remake, whether they played the original game or whether it was brand new to them, it was the first Final Fantasy they ever played before. And I'll just watch like replays of people finding this game and sort of playing this game and having these fresh experiences, and I'll just be lost in it for hours, just like paying attention to them while I'm doing something else. Alana is one of them. Jesse's another one who comes at from a music angle, which I think is so totally cool. But just like so many people just discovering this game, and my wife would be like, "Why are you watching this for hours of other people playing this game?" It's because like it gives you this sort of like renewed, like fresh perspective on how people are finding, discovering, and experiencing this game. So I think this thing has been just fantastic for the community. I'm so excited for the remake project to continue and get our hands on the next piece. And the crazy thing is, like, this trailer was coming out and I was getting ready to start this YouTube channel, and I was already working on another video it's going to lead off with of like the top 10 most unanswered or unasked questions around Rebirth. And I'm still going to work on that. I'm still going to come out with it, but then the trailer came out and I just had to start there. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for showing interest or care, and I can't wait to see what they come out with next.